So many great things going on in the world of New York sports. You got the Mets, you've got the Yankees, the hockey teams are off to a pretty good start, but we're primarily here to talk football, I'm sorry to say. But you know what's up. We're going to have a great time tonight. It is Wednesday night, and we are live. Well, welcome everybody to New York Sports, WickerMedia. I'm Watch2K99. Thank you as always for taking the time to join me for the Wednesday Night Live extravaganza. Got the newest addition to the New York Sports WickerMedia channel, this new microphone. All right, so I realized after last week when some of the audio faded out a little bit that it was maybe time to upgrade in the audio department, so I decided to go ahead and do that. I hope the quality is noticeably better than it was before. All right, so we're going to get into a bunch of stuff tonight, all kinds of things going on in the world of New York sports. The Mets and Dodgers are playing Game 3 in about 2 hours as of the time I'm speaking right now. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk some baseball. Of course, the Jets are going to be the main topic of focus tonight. But first of all, let's talk about what's on my mind with a little bit of what we like to call 3 and out. First of all, we got to talk about the New York Giants for just a minute. Now, here's the thing: I did not think they were going to beat Cincinnati last Sunday night, but the defense, I give them credit. They did a very good job holding the Bengals offense down. It's a very high-powered offense. At the 2-minute warning, Joe Burrow had been pressured on 47% of his dropbacks. Pretty good job by Big Blue. Giants had 4 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. But here's the thing. Daniel Jones is now 1-14 in primetime games. This is the worst winning percentage of any quarterback in prime time since the NFL-AFL merger happened all the way back in 1970. And Brian Dable, their head coach, he's only 2-7 in primetime games. Another stat on the Giant offense. 3 home games, 1 touchdown. That's it. They went almost 11 full quarters before scoring their first touchdown at MetLife Stadium when Tyrone Tracy ran in for a 1-yard score. Now they got the Eagles this week. Not going to be an easy game for them, even though Nick Sirianni feels like a ticking time bomb waiting to just explode. But Malik Neighbors is expected to be back from his concussion issues. There's just 2 issues here with the Giants. Number one, you just can't believe in the quarterback to have a consistent string of big games. And now Andrew Thomas, their standout left tackle, has had foot surgery today, and he is done for the year. Welcome back, Evan Neal. Maybe one of the absolute least popular Giants on the roster right now. He will likely be going to right tackle and Jermaine Illuminor over to left tackle. All right, Dave, thanks very much. Also, hello to the great Tony Alexio. Replace Greg the broken leg with a new leg. We're going to talk some kicking a little while from now, and the Jets seem to have the idea that this is something worth addressing. Topic number 2, the New York Yankees. Did you know there was a baseball game at Yankee Stadium on Monday? You would never know it if you read the papers or watched the news because everything was about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They showed up so nothing else in the world mattered. But Juan Soto hit one out. Giancarlo Stanton hit another one out. I got to give him credit. As long as he's been healthy, he's been productive as of late. And more importantly, the good Carlos Rodon actually showed up. Easy Yankee win. Game 2 on Tuesday, please. This one was over in the first inning when the Cleveland shortstop dropped the pop-up. And it was done. Yankees score in the first inning. Rest in peace after 2 innings when the Yankees were up 3-0. But Aaron Judge finally hits his first postseason home run of 2024. Gleyber Torres, been great in the leadoff spot, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored. when you have a healthy Stanton and you add in Anthony Rizzo and you can move Alex Verdugo down to the 9 spot, that's a deep lineup. And if you look at the history of best of 7 post-season series in baseball, teams taking a 2-0 lead have gone on to win the series 76 out of 91 times. It's 84%. What a waste of a series the ALCS is. Game 3 Thursday at 5. My God. Oh boy, it's just not even worth watching. It's just not right now. Okay, and then we got to shift on over to what is going on at Citi Field with the New York Mets. OMG. Game 2, the most stressful 7-3 victory of all time. The Francisco Lindor home run sets the tone, snapping the 33-inning scoreless streak that the Dodgers pitching staff had up to that point. Lindor has reached base in all 9 of the Mets' postseason games in 2024, has six of his 10 hits for extra bases, 9 walks, 8 RBIs, played great defense, although the managers and coaches don't seem to care, as he was amazingly snubbed from being a Gold Glove finalist in the National League. Absolutely ridiculous that happened. But you know what? I don't think Lindor cares all that much. He knows what he's got to be focused on, and that is winning the whole thing. So if he's not bothered by it, I'm not going to be bothered by it. Mark Vientos, grand slammed. I don't want to say to put the game away, but to definitely take some of the stress off the Mets fans' shoulders. Mets wouldn't score again after the second inning, but it would be enough. Starling Marte, 3 more hits, RBI, runs scored. Marte has had a very good postseason and has gotten very little attention. Now, I was nervous when Sean Manaea was pulled from this game after 5 innings. I was like, we got to get 12 outs from this bullpen. Now, Manaea was not at his best at all, but he still pitched 5+ innings. I just felt he had more left in the tank. But Phil Maton comes in, allows 2 inherited runners to score, got out of it. In comes Ryan Stanek. Little bit of tension, but not much. Same thing with Edwin Diaz. It's Edwin Diaz. He doesn't really get started until the tension gets up. It's like, Edwin Diaz is kind of like the Mets. If it came by easy, it wouldn't be the Mets, and it wouldn't be Edwin Diaz either. But again, how many Dennis Eckersleys and Mariano Rivera's are there in baseball? None of them. Every closer has gotten touched up at one point or another during this postseason. And again, if you're a Mets fan, remember, this is not supposed to be easy. The Mets are facing probably the most dangerous lineup in baseball, certainly the most dangerous and deepest in the National League. And nobody in the top 4 of the Dodgers lineup got a base hit in Game 2. That's pretty freaking impressive. Couple quick hellos to a couple other people dropping by in the chat. The great Harlan Abraham, howdy to you as well, my friend. Hank G, how you doing, man? I'm glad that you're here as well. All right. Got a nice turnout early on in the chat, guys. Please hit that thumbs up. You know how it goes. Please subscribe if you haven't already and share the channel with a friend. We are, I believe, 34 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. So close. So close. And then when we hit 1,000, I'll want to hit 2,000 and 3,000 and on we go. I will never be complacent. But Game 3 tonight at 8 p.m. in Citi Field. The pitching matchup, want to do a little preview on this. The pitching matchup is Walker Buehler for the Dodgers, Luis Severino for the Mets. Now, Buehler has a 10.80 ERA in this postseason. In the regular season, he had 16 starts, had a 1-6 record, 5.38 ERA as he was coming back from his second Tommy John surgery. Buehler's been a very, very good pitcher in the past. He has not been that this year at all. And then and what's interesting to me are the home road splits. I thought the Dodgers would try to use him maybe in Game 2 instead of having the bullpen game. Because in 10 career playoff starts at Dodger Stadium, Buehler's ERA is 2.01, really good. On the road in 6 playoff starts, 5.81, almost 3 times as high, and he's pitching in a rabid Met fan base tonight. Now, a few things with this lineup. So Jose Iglesias will be playing this game. There were some Met fans who are calling for him to get benched, how his batting has not been the same. He even made an error in Game 2. I'm willing to give him one more game. because Iglesias' numbers are, I think he's hitting 4 for 10 against Bueller. Jeff McNeil hitting only, I think, 1 for 9 with a walk against Bueller. So I'll give Iglesias one more shot. But this is going to be, if he doesn't have a good night tonight, then you got to think about what you're going to do for game 4 when Yamamoto's pitching. Pete Alonso has dismantled Walker Bueller. 5 for 14, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. Look for Pete Alonso to have a big game. Francisco Alvarez, definitely struggling, 5 for 33 in the playoffs. But if you bench him for Luis Torrens, you're not going to get anything on offense from him. Torrens could be a little bit better at throwing out a base runner, but outside of Ohtani and maybe Tommy Edman, the Dodgers don't have much in the way of base stealers. Dodgers have only 3 players who stole double-digit bases this season. Ohtani with 59, Mookie Betts with 16, Kike Hernandez with 12. And the other thing with Ohtani, for all you want to say about Ohtani, 6 for 8 with runners on base during the playoffs. When the bases are empty, 0 for 19. And as a leadoff hitter, that's a problem for him. And I did do another video last night on Brandon Nimmo about the plantar fasciitis. Feel free to check that out if you would like. But to me, as long as he can tolerate the discomfort, as long as he can tolerate the pain and tolerate the discomfort, you got to have him in the lineup. Got to have him in the lineup. Even if you were to DH him, I would not have the biggest issue with it. But he has played tonight, and he is playing left field. So if that's all it is, if it's just pain management and it'll be treated during the offseason, I'm good with it. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. I think we need to change a few things. We need to change the atmosphere from, you know what? I can't even go with the nighttime atmosphere. I'm still haunted from the other night. But we will change the color scheme tonight from blue to green. So everybody, I know it's hurting right now. I know it's not easy right now, but we are going to say it. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to hear you say it no matter where you are in the country right now. So everybody, say it proud, say it loud. Let me hear you. That's right. Jets, Jets. Well, I was too aggravated to do a recap video with the 3 key plays because, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do one last night. I just could not bear to do it. The great Johnny Boy is here. How you doing, Johnny? Glad that you are here. All right. Yeah, Harlan's right. 10 of us here and only 2 likes. Hit the like button. That's exactly right. We might spin the wheel tonight if that happens. And of course, we will be doing trivia a little bit later on tonight. Yeah, we're going to get into kicking in just 1 second. So let's get right into the recap here. And I'm not going to give you a ton of numbers like I usually do. I just want to give more of a big picture here. I just felt the Bills wanted it more because it seems like in every loss the Jets have had, they have been getting dominated at both lines of scrimmage. And that is not acceptable. I know the defensive line is playing shorthanded. They don't have the full arsenal that they should have. There's no excuse for the offensive line, though. None. I had a lot of confidence. I had a lot of belief that this offensive line was going to be really, really good, and it is just way too inconsistent. The referees, we'll spend a minute on the referees. All I'm going to do is tell you what Richard Sherman said on Twitter. He didn't have a dog in the fight. He said, and I'm going to read you the quote, "The refs are biased tonight. I don't use that lightly, but it's apparent. These aren't my teams, but these calls don't make sense. I see similar contact from Buffalo defensive backs and nothing being called." Sherman's actually being objective. And you know what? Each team had 11 penalties. It just seemed that the Jets penalties came at the worst possible times, and they always managed to kill big plays. It gets to the point. Every time the Jets have a big play, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, you can't celebrate because you're looking for penalty flags. And when you go 1 for 4 in the red zone, you're not winning. You're not winning against the Buffalo Bills. 1 for 4 is basically what we saw last year when Zach Wilson was a quarterback. And people want to talk about what a disaster Greg Zuerlein is, and that's fine. Yeah, Greg Zuerlein has been terrible this year. No question about it. But here's the thing. If the offense was clicking, if they were not taking these penalties, if they were getting in the end zone, these field goals might not be that big of an issue. 3 straight losses by a combined 10 points. That's what's so frustrating. It's different when your expectations are high and you believe in the team and think they could actually go somewhere. If they lost 3 games in a row by a combined 10 points and this was 3-4 years ago, I wouldn't be all that aggravated about it. I'd be like, well, okay, they're fighting. They just got to learn how to close it. Not now. Not now. And for all we want to rag on New England, and well-deserved, the Jets are in 3rd place with a 2-4 record. Only 1 win better than the stinky, crappy, smelly Patriots. I never thought I would use the dreaded T word. The dreaded T word, which is a curse word around here now. But if you check Tankathon, I said the word. The Jets would be 7th in the draft standings right now. 7th. I just don't know what to say. So let's talk about the snap counts here. So in this game against Buffalo, Jets had 63 snaps on offense, 9 down from the previous week against Minnesota. Rodgers played all 63 snaps. Breece Hall played 55, so all but 8 snaps. They had number 20 on the field. Braylon Allen played only 12 down 7. That's just less than 20% of the plays for Braylon Allen. I didn't really like that. I didn't particularly like that usage of him, but just my opinion. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson played 61 snaps, so all but 2. Alan Lazard played 59, down 13 from last week, but he still only missed 4 snaps. Mike Williams, 32, down 19 from last week, played only half the game. And which would be all well and good, except you gave a lot of those snaps to Xavier Gibson, up 11 snaps from last week, went from 2 to 13. Is anybody actually excited to see Xavier Gibson on the field? Because I'm not. Irv Charles had the same 1 snap, and Malachi Corley, once again, inactive. One of my bold predictions, I felt Malachi Corley would get at least 5 snaps in this game. They didn't even activate him. Really, really disappointing. Harlan says in Ulbricht's first game, he hasn't solved the penalty problem. It might take take Smith out. Moses is limping around. Take him out. That whole thing, it is going to take time. You know, I don't think that's something you just solve overnight. You just want a gradual decrease, and you don't want it to be stupid penalties. You know, if it's one of those ticky-tack pass interference penalties, that's one thing. But a false start at home, there's no excuse for that under any circumstances. A legal man downfield, okay, I could deal with that because that could be a little bit weird. But an unnecessary roughness or an unsportsmanlike conduct, I just can't. I just can't with that. Just can't do it. Tight ends. It's amazing. We may have the worst group of tight ends in the NFL right now. We may as well bring back Ryan Griffin, Dan Brown. Who were the other tight ends we had back then? But I remember Dan Brown and Ryan Griffin. Tyler Conklin, 46. Oh, I think CJ came along after that. But Tyler Conklin, 46 snaps only. Usually plays a lot more than that. A lot more than that. Jeremy Ruckert got a little bit more time, got 30 snaps. Anthony Ferkser was activated for this game, which I was fine with. They benched Brendan Bates, which was much needed, and I think the run game was better for it. We don't need to see Brendan Bates ever again. When Devontae Adams is added to the roster, just get Brandon Bates out of there, please. Harlan, bring back Jeff Cumberland. Oh, my God. I couldn't stand Jeff Cumberland. Jeff Cumberland was one of my least favorite Jets of that era. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, I'll take him back. Hey, you know who would fit right in this tight end room? Chris Herndon. He'd fit right in. Right in. And then the offensive line played all 63 snaps. Just to refer back to Tyron Smith really quick. There is only one left tackle in the NFL who has allowed 5 or more sacks and taken 5 or more penalties, and it's this alleged Hall of Famer. Tyron Smith looks like he is on the way to being the next Steve Atwater, Ronnie Lott, Frank Gore, Ed Reed, Just these guys that the Jets bring in who have had great careers, Hall of Fame level careers, but the Jets bring them in and they suddenly forget how to play the game. That is what we are on the verge of seeing here with Tyron Smith. I'm a little bit worried about playing him this week against Pittsburgh, about playing Olu Fashanu, because Pittsburgh has a very dangerous defense and a very potent pass rush. I might give Tyron one more week, but I might need to put a tight end nearby him on some of these plays. But what's going to happen when the Jets got to face TJ Watt, Alex Smith, Cameron Hayward, Alandon Roberts, Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton? What's going to happen that night? Harlan, he barely plays like a high school Hall of Famer right now. Tony Alexio, Becton is better than Tyron Smith. They play different positions. Becton's a right guard. Tyron Smith is a left tackle. But if you want to make that argument, you know what? Maybe it does come back to here's the thing. Tyron Smith should not need coaching. Okay? I don't care if the Jets have Keith Carter, Bill Callahan, or you name it, Richie from Jets-Media, or Jeremy, or Nick, or Johnny Jimenez himself. Does it really matter who his offensive line coach is? He's been doing this long enough where he should know what the hell he's doing. And again, this is another transaction made by the Jets, made by the front office, that was universally lauded. Something that a lot of people felt this is the move the Jets got to make. Well, they went out and made it. And it's not the first time this has happened. Laken Tomlinson, anybody? Do I need to remind us of how universally praised that move was? Do I have to go there? I mean, I wanted James Daniels, but by the way, he won't be playing this week for Pittsburgh. He's hurt. Yeah, but the offensive line, well, they were on the field for every snap. I can't say they played every snap because that would be disingenuous. On to the defense. This may make you throw up. On defense, they played 69 snaps, down 4 from last week. And what defensive lineman gets the most time? The immortal Michael freaking Clemens. 53 snaps, up late, 8 from last week. And he barely has business being on the field more than 23. Oh my gosh. And again, I don't want to kill him because I feel like he's doing what he can with what he has to work with. But he is a very, very limited player. This is about as kind as I can say it. He is an incredibly limited player. If he is your third, preferably fourth defensive end, that's fine. As your number 2, where he's playing more snaps than anybody, no wonder the defensive line sucks right now. Will McDonald, 50 snaps, same as last week. Quinn Williams, 47, down 6 from last week. Did anybody see him in this game? When was the last time we saw Quinn Williams actually make an impact play? Make a tackle for a loss, a sack, knocking down a pass? When was the last time? Javon Kinlaw, 46 snaps. I think he's still yelling at a referee right now. Lucky Fotu, welcome to the Jets. His first game, got 31 snaps. Solomon Thomas, 23 snaps, played a third of the game. Tack McKinley, Mr. August himself, down 5 snaps, played only 12. Leonard Taylor's time got cut, 14. Eric Watts, 9 snaps. Jalen Holmes didn't play. Why? Because his ass got cut for Lucky Fotu. So bye-bye, Jalen. Man, oh man. Aaron Whitecotton is a good defensive line coach, but I'm sorry. These players are August preseason practice squad players. That's all they are. I would just settle for a glimpse from one of these guys. I haven't seen it. From McKinley, from Watts, from Braden McGregor. A little bit from Leonard Taylor, but I'm focused a little more on the outside right now. I don't know how this Hassan Reddick thing is going to shake out, but I'll tell you what, it's got to shake out fast. I don't care at this point if you sign him or you trade him, but you got to do something with him. The only thing I would not do is release him. Linebacker Quincy Williams played all but 1 snap, as did Jamian Sherwood. C.J. Mosley got on the field for 9 whole snaps. He probably shouldn't even been active for this game. Chaz Surratt benched. So interesting. The Jets only did not use a lot of three linebacker looks. I thought that was a little bit interesting, especially considering there was no Michael Carter and very little DJ Reed. At cornerback, Sauce Gardner played the whole game, 69 snaps. DJ Reed played 47 before going out with his groin injury. He is not expected to play this week. Brandon Eccles, played 23 snaps, up 8. Jalen Mills played 9, made his Jets debut. I want to see a whole lot more of him going forward. Tony, here's the thing you got to keep in mind, okay? The Jets have rotated players at that spot next to Quinnen for a couple of reasons. Usually the rest of the defensive line is very good, and you're paying Quinnen a ton of money. I don't think the Jets want to invest too much money in the defensive tackle position. I think they're trying to be very careful about that. When they had Sheldon Rankins, it was working quite well. Quentin Jefferson was a very good pass rusher. He could not play the run. And I think that has gotten lost a lot. That Jefferson was a terrible run defender. But yeah, then you had Al Woods and you had Solomon Thomas. So you know what? You can't pay $15, $20 million to every free agent you bring in. You have to go for the depth signing sometime. That was the idea with Javon Kinlaw. You know what? That one's not working out. Not every free agent is going to work out. Some moves have, some moves have not. And then at safety, Tony Adams played 69 snaps, so he played the whole game. Ashton Davis, dear God. I'm going to get to Ashton Davis in a moment. 65 snaps of 56 from last week. Dear God. Isaiah Oliver, 37, down 7 snaps. Chuck Clark played only 10 before suffering his high ankle sprain. He is now on injured reserve, so we will not see him until probably after Thanksgiving, in all likelihood. All right, let's get out of there. Now we're going to get into the Jets news of the week and of the day. So first of all, with the injury updates, by the way, here's Mekhi Becton up there in the upper right. So Mike Williams has clear concussion protocol. So he should be good to go. There is still no word if his eyes or his neck work when a pass is thrown in his direction. That has not been confirmed yet. That is questionable, but his concussion situation is fine, so that is not a problem. DJ Reed, groin injury, of course, so he's likely not playing this week against Pittsburgh. Michael Carter II, not expected to play either. And here's the thing with Chuck Clark, okay? He's out for 4 or 5 games. Fine. You know what I would do? Play Jalen Mills. Sign him to the 53. I would really do this. Here's the thing with Ashton Davis. All right. This is my perspective on him after these years. Because he's been here since 2019. I think he's the one player left from JD's first draft. Ashton Davis is okay to see once in a while. But then when you get him, a full dose of him, you wonder why he's come back around again. He looks like he'd be good, but once you're in the experience of Ashton Davis, you realize he basically sucks. He's like the McRib. So this is what I'm going to call Ashton Davis from now on, McRib. So if I ever say McRib, you know I'm talking about Ashton Davis. Good in the tiniest of doses, sounds intriguing, tease you for a minute, then you take a bite and it's like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? So anyway, I thought that was a really good friggin' comparison. Anyway, but that's just me. Okay, but Davante Adams, let's talk some good news. Davante Adams, now a New York Jet, traded on Tuesday. Like I said last night on the video I recorded, if you are, for every Jets fan, Tuesday about 10:10 to 10:15, pull up your social media, turn on sports radio, turn on the NFL Network, because that's when the Jets like to make news. 2 weeks in a row. Robert Saleh fired and Davante Adams acquired. Oh, by the way, I have to take a quick detour. Did you all see the video, I think, from TMZ, basically recording Robert Saleh as he's coming out of Whole Foods? Did you see that? Basically asked him and said, hey, Robert, yeah, hey, are you okay? How you doing? What are you doing? And he comes out of there with one grocery bag. I know he's going to feed all 26 of his kids with one grocery bag from Whole Foods. That's just rough. He was classier than I was, but you could tell he did not want those cameras around, and I don't blame him for one single solitary second. David D could suddenly go for a McRib right now. Well, there it is again. Courtesy of Ashton McRib Davis. Oh, boy, sounds like a WWE character that never quite worked out. The McRib, Ashton Davis. The guy you're just waiting, future endeavor. Holy hell. Tonight is Whopper Wednesday. You know what? Today was Bratwurst Wednesday for me. Took down 2 brats with some peppers and onions, the nice little oven bake on them. Brushed them with old mustard vinaigrette that I made before I bake those up in the oven. So onions and peppers got a little caramelized in the oven. Just shoved those into a nice big toasted brat roll. And yeah, topped it with a little bit of spicy garlic mustard aioli, which you could get at Trader Joe's. You got a Trader Joe's near you and you like mustard, go to the condiment section and look for the garlic mustard aioli. It's more of a mild mustard. It's not as aggressive as, say, Dijon would be, or even the brown mustard. But it's got that little bit of garlic hint. It's a little creamier, just a little bit of creaminess. So it kind of helps balance out your sandwich without it being too overwhelming. So just a little bit of a food recommendation there for you guys. Wow, Wave. Hey, there you go. How you doing, buddy? Glad you stopped by tonight. All right. Let's see how we're doing the likes. 8 likes. All right. That's good. That's good. But I know we can get more. Hit that thumbs up. All right. So Davante Adams traded for a 3rd-round pick that can become a 2nd if Adams becomes a 1st or 2nd team All-Pro player. This after he has just missed the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. Wink, wink. Or the 3rd-round pick becomes a 2nd if he's on the active roster for the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. I gave everybody a second. Hopefully you all got the laughter out of your system after that. Look, I don't know if there was really a bad hamstring or if they were just holding him out so that his trade value wouldn't be ruined. All I know is he passed his physical today. He will play Sunday. We'll see how much he does play. I don't think he plays the entire game, but I would think about half the snaps, and we'll go to a few typical Rodgers to Adams plays. But I don't think we can expect a full game from him immediately. Now, when I first heard about the trade, I got to be honest, being that it came basically 12 hours after this disgrace of a loss against Buffalo, I didn't really have much reaction one way or another. It was like, great, we needed this a week ago. And I also thought to myself, well, is this really addressing what the Jets need to address? Because Davante Adams can't kick. He can't pass block for Aaron Rodgers. He can't open up a hole for the running backs. He can't stop the run. Can't do any of that. What he does is he makes a decent position group much better. That's what he does. You have a very good receiver in Garrett, a very up and down receiver in Allen Lazard, who is tied for the league lead in both touchdowns, and I think leading the league in drops. He's going to make you pull what's left of your hair out, or in Davante's case, his dreadlocks. Xavier Gibson is a waste. This team refuses to use Malachi Corley, but I have a little bit of a theory on that now. I've been angry that Corley has not gotten a chance because I see a lot of potential in this kid. But I think we're realizing with Mike Williams, the fact that it is not working out with Mike Williams, Aaron Rodgers needs a very precise type of wide receiver, one who is running very precise routes. You can be big and slow, you can be small and fast, but Rodgers has to develop that trust with his receivers. And the only real issue we're hearing with Malachi Corley is that he needs to learn to run his routes better. You know what? If Zach Wilson was still the quarterback of this team, you might be seeing Corley. But I think they're worried that they playing with Rodgers, and Rodgers can't trust him. He's basically going to go to waste on the field. Because if Rodgers isn't going to trust him, or if Corley runs an incorrect pass pattern, that's going to be all she wrote. So it's only a theory of mine, but I think that might be a reason why Corley is not playing. I think Aaron Rodgers does have something to do with this. But we know one player he does trust is Davante Adams. And Adams is a very precise route runner. And that's why at 31, 32 years old, he could still make a difference on the field. And by the way, yes, he is wearing number 17. He took away Corley's number. Corley going back to number 14. So anybody who brought up Corley's 17 jersey, hopefully you can get a jersey exchange for free. I don't know. But Adams has $36.25 million for each of the next 2 years, but none of the money is guaranteed. The contract has already been restructured. A couple of void years were added. I still expect the Jets and Adams to redo the contract after this season. And I have that much more confidence Aaron Rodgers is staying after this season. I really, really do. as I'm getting a spam call from Illinois, and I will not do that. I don't need any more political phone calls. Bye-bye. So now there is sort of an expectation that Mike Williams might get traded. So Williams at this point has 10 receptions, 145 yards, and no touchdowns. I don't know if they would actually let him go. I still think Williams can be useful in this offense as time goes on. But if the Jets are to trade him, hey, if that opens up some money to where you sign Reddick, you know what? If you have to trade Williams to get Reddick in here and get him paid, I would do it. I think it's a worthwhile sacrifice. So if they trade him, what would make sense? Believe it or not, the Chargers make sense. They need a wide receiver, and they're a good team. But they are very short at wide receiver. Washington, I think, would make a lot of sense. You had that big physical target for Jaden Daniels to go along with Terry McLaurin, and I think Palmer's the other one who's over there. Whoever the other receiver is over there. But I think Mike Williams could work out pretty well with the Command Skins as well. So I think it is very possible that Williams gets traded, but it would have to be a pretty good trade for that to happen. But again, the key is to shed the salary so you can sign Reddick. You do that, I'll feel a lot better about this team. The great Dane, check out his channel, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It'd be interesting to see if the Chiefs go after him. The Saints, I think the Saints are pretty good at receiver, unless the Olave injury is more serious. Kansas City, yeah, they're going to be linked to just about everybody, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to. Would the Jets trade him to Kansas City though? I don't know. I'll tell you, that's a tough call. I think. And one of the things I think I found out with Reddick is if he gets traded to an NFC team, I think it was Connor Hughes that said. I think it was Connor. If he gets traded to an NFC team, the third-round pick automatically becomes a second-round pick that the Jets have to trade to Philadelphia. So the preference is to trade him within the conference, and that is limiting the trade market. So Reddick did hire Drew Rosenhaus this week, and about a dozen teams have been contacted. But clearly, Joe Douglas's preference, if a trade were to happen, it's going to be to an AFC team. I know the Chargers are weird, aren't they? Yeah, they become a very physical team, a very good running team with Edwards and Dobbins. But yeah, Justin Herbert he really needs another target. He really does. If we look at actually, I'm gonna pull this up. Just real quick. I want to pull up the San Diego Chargers stats for receiving. Okay. So receiving, receptions. Okay, so their leading wide receiver is Ladd McConkey with 19 catches. Quentin Johnson has 14, and the tight end Will Disley has 13. Yeah, it was Josh Palmer. Yeah, Josh Palmer has 9 catches in 4 games. There is not a single receiver on that team averaging 4 catches in a game. Their wide receiver core right now blows. So they need another receiver. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, when the trades happened, Cooper to the Bills, Adams to the Jets, I think there were 2 fan bases that were especially angry. Pittsburgh and the Chargers. Because those teams have a lot, but they need receivers. All right, and then we move on to, there's the Reddick. Now we talk about the kicker update. Oh, boy, this is not the greatest, most flattering photo of Greg the Leg, huh? Boy, it's more like Greg the Dome right now. Man alive. But anyway, the Jets worked out 3 kickers today. They worked out Matt Conklin, maybe Tom's son, I don't know, Riley Patterson, and Cade York. And you know what just makes me crazy? Makes me absolutely crazy. Last night when I did the video on the Jets, I said the Jets should look at signing Brandon McManus, who is a free agent. 30 minutes later, the Packers sign him. Oh, my gosh. But, yeah, I thought Brandon McManus would be a great fit here. I wanted him on the Jets. But you know what? Not going to happen now. But, again, you can let a kicker go. But, again, if anybody who you want to fire, cut, you have to have a replacement in mind. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. So just to talk about these guys just a little bit. So both Coughlin and Patterson worked out with the San Francisco 49ers last week. They worked out, so it was them and about 2-3 other kickers, and the Niners signed somebody named Matthew Wright. Dane, all the allegations were cleared. There was no wrongdoing. Everything was completely cleared, completely exonerated. There are no legal issues with Brandon McManus at all now. So there was an allegation, an accusation, everything cleared. So there'd be no ramifications there. So the Niners signed Matthew Wright. Now Cade York, he has been with be sure to track this. Cleveland, Tennessee, the Giants, Cleveland, then traded to Washington in August, and then he was released after week 1 after missing 2 field goals in the season opener. So York's been around quite a bit already. Got a big leg. Looked like he was going to be a really good kicker for the Browns, but has not been working out quite so well. Riley Patterson, he's only been in the league 3 years. Here's his story. This is basically the Tim Boyle saga. Minnesota, New England, Detroit, Jacksonville, Detroit, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Washington. 3 years. And he has been with now, 9 teams. And he's only kicked for 2 of them. I think 2 of them. Yeah, Jacksonville, Detroit, and Washington. 1 game for Washington. So the Jets would be the 4th team that he's actually kicked for. He's been getting traded a lot. He's like the last kicker brought in, and then he's been getting let go. But let me give you a couple of numbers on Patterson. In his 3 seasons on field goals, he's 13 for 14, 30 for 35, not great, but good enough, 16 for 18. Extra points in his 3 seasons, 16 for 16, 36 for 37. Last year, 41 for 44. If I'm signing somebody, it's Riley Patterson. So if you're going to make a move, that's the move I'm making. Riley Patterson. And I feel bad for Zerline. He got a 2-year contract, but he has not been right going back to the preseason. You can overlook a preseason game. You can overlook 1 miss in a game when you're beating the crap out of New England. But when you essentially are, and again, a game never comes down to 1 play or 1 player. But when you have the opportunity to give your team the advantage and you cost them twice, you become a complete liability. Harlan, what happened to Pinheiro? Yeah, he went over to Carolina and he's made about 35, 40 kicks in a row. Pinheiro's doing great. Real great. Yeah, Dano's on the same page with me, man. I'm with you. Cameron, what's up, man? Good to see you around. Here we go. Swig of water for the working man and woman. Got a nice turnout in the chat tonight. Man, good turnout for sure. Guys, again, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you want me to spin the wheel tonight, you got to hit that thumbs up. Counting the Giants game, Greg has missed 6 of his last 15, 60%. That's like Kari Vedvik level almost. That's Alex, Alex Kessman, I believe the kicker was that we have for like 1 game. I think it was the game against the Saints when we had Alex Kessman and he missed 3 kicks in a row and was cut the next day. How sick is it that I actually remember this? Oh, my God. I watched that game in Washington, D.C. Oh, man, with the Capital Jets fans group. I remember that game. It was at a pub called the Irish Times, and it's in the heart of Chinatown in Washington, D.C. Need I say more than that, right? All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get out of there. And now what we're going to do, we're going to get into a little bit of what's going on around the AFC East. So first of all, to the Buffalo Bills, congratulations to them on another division title. I don't see any way that they blow this unless Josh Allen actually gets hurt. Not that I'm wishing for that, but that's the only way I see it happening. Amari Cooper, of course, now in the fold. And to me, they are not just a playoff team. They could be the team now whose season ends in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. Because we know if it's Buffalo and Kansas City, the NFL and the referees will do everything possible to make sure Taylor Swift is screaming in the luxury boxes. Just makes you sick, doesn't it? Their next game at home against Tennessee. Now, Tennessee's got a pretty good defense, but you know what? Will Levis ain't it, man. Will Levis ain't it. Yeah, we talk about the Jets' bad luck with quarterbacks. Look at Tennessee. Oh my God, they should have never let Ryan Tannehill go. Malik Willis, Will Levis, man, ain't working out for them. As far as the Miami Dolphins go, well, they just had their bye week, a much needed bye week. Tyreek was over in Paris taking pictures at the Eiffel Tower. So this week, when the Dolphins face Indianapolis, they'll be in Indiana, by the way. Tyler Huntley will start a quarterback. The thing with the Dolphins, though, I got to give them credit for this. They have a very good defense. It seems like all people really talk about is the offense with Tua's injury and just how much the offense is spinning its wheels in the mud, right? Well, the defense is 5th in yards allowed per game. And if you look at opponent third downs, nobody's got a better rate than the Dolphin defense. They're allowing just 25.5% of their opponent's third downs to be converted on offense. And you know what? Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, yeah, they let Vic Fangio go, but the defense is actually doing a pretty good job. So I felt like I should mention one thing the Dolphins are actually doing well, that they may not be quite as hopeless as some people are thinking. And as far as our bosom buddies up in New England go, hey, have their fans found the Tankathon website yet? Have they bookmarked Tankathon yet? This wonderful team has dropped 5 games in a row. They had no chance against Houston. Somehow they were in striking distance at halftime. They were down 14-7, but they came out flat in the second half. Drake May, 20 for 33, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Their next game is going to be interesting. Jacksonville in London. I'll tell you what, we're sending those 2 teams to London. Are we trying to like alienate the UK, have them get all pissed off at us right now? I don't know why we would do that. We should be sending those teams to China, some country like that. Send them to Afghanistan, to Saudi Arabia, to one of those type countries. We're sending them to Jacksonville and New England. Yuck. Oh, say their name and he appears. I believe in Fitzpatrick. All right, Thomas Fitzpatrick, very big New England fan, but a good guy for being a New England fan. So check his channel out if you haven't already. Go ahead, like his video, subscribe to him as well. Does a lot of live streaming, and one day he's going to try Smashburger. And I am not going to get off his back until he does. Dane O asks, have you ever told us where Y2K comes from? Yeah, I've told the story a couple times, but I'll tell you right now. So it goes back to my high school days. I went to a high school called Wheaton Academy in the west suburbs of Chicago. And so we would say wah for sure. Like when we chant, we go wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. When the other team did something bad, right? That was always fun. And I graduated high school in 99. So at the time, you had the whole Y2K scare. And so our yearbook, I was actually editor of our high school yearbook. So, I got a lot of dates. But I graduated in the summer of 99. The Y2K scare was coming up. And we thought, well, instead of Y2K, go WA2K. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep that. And I knew it was something unique, something nobody else would ever use. And so I added the 99 on the back of it. So that's where WA2K 99 came from. So that's the story. David D, Wheaton Academy sounds fancy. Yeah, it was a good school. It was a good place. It was a good school. It's grown quite a bit since I've left size-wise. I'll tell you a story. We could not. Now, I was only there 2 years. My first 2 years, I went to St. Joseph's in Metuchen, New Jersey. Some of you might know it. Guys like Jay Williams, back at the time, Jason Williams, now Jay Williams on ESPN, Andrew Bynum, who played with the Lakers, and now Karl Anthony Towns, the newest New York Knick, all played high school ball at St. Joe's. In fact, Jay Williams and I had history and English classes together way back in the day. And both our moms' names are Althea, which is very unusual. But I always thought that was a little bit funny. So I did that. Then midway through high school, moved to Chicago. And at the time, during our senior year, we couldn't be on campus because we were under construction. They were building a second level on top of the school because it was growing so quickly. So for the first quarter of the year, we were alternating going to school between a local church and a local college. So we divided that up for about 2 months. That's what we did for senior year. So it was a little bit of a crazy time. But yeah, it was good. 2 great years there. Never say anything bad about them for sure. Yeah. Dano assumed it was WWE related. No, it's not that. Yeah. So that's why I put Watch UK99. If you look at my logo, there's Watch UK99 in the middle of that New York Sports WickerMedia logo. So that's kind of the uniqueness of it. So then when I started the channel, I knew I couldn't just call it Watch UK99 because it's not descriptive enough. You're like, what's Watch UK99? What is that? So, and eventually, thanks to really Tigo and Nick were the guys who kind of steered me in the direction. New York Sports WickerMedia was born. And of course, that came from, well, you know where. The Wicker Chair. But we're not done yet tonight, guys. Yeah, the Wicker Chair is here. It's a little bit tight to do in the space that I have to work with. So we do what we can with what we have to work with. But the Wicker Chair is safe for sure. All right, guys. So now let's turn the page because let's be honest, we need to. We have got to turn the page. Let's do a little initial preview. Let's get to know our friends in Pittsburgh, in Western Pennsylvania, not far from Beaver Falls, the home of Joe Willie Namath. Let's talk about the DVOA stats, first of all, with these two teams. So going back to last week with DVOA, the Jets are still 23rd on offense, no change there. Down one spot on defense, went from 11 to 12, and special teams, no movement. They stayed at 22nd, which, what does that say about these other teams? How bad they must be on special teams. But overall, the Jets are 22nd, down 2 spots from the previous week. Pittsburgh, well, they are 22nd on offense, not so good. And then they are 11th on defense, 4th on special teams, and we'll get into why in a little bit. They are 16th overall, down 2 spots from last week, despite blowing out the Raiders. So this is our Week 7 preview. Yeah, believe it or not, the last time the Jets played in Pittsburgh, they actually won when we went with the white on black. Zach Wilson, I believe, actually caught a pass in that game, had that crazy rally, that Michael Carter, the second interception. That was one of the best wins the Jets had in a while. Anytime you beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh, it just makes you feel a little bit better, even though they're not a division rival. I think outside of the Steelers, I don't know if there is a more satisfying team to beat in the AFC. I don't know. I really don't know if there is. Maybe the Raiders for some of the longtime fans, but maybe the Colts because they were in the division for a little bit. But yeah, for me, it's the Steelers because it feels like you've always accomplished something when you do it. The Wicker Chair expanded the chaos. I see what you did there. Yeti, how you doing? Long drive, keep it going. Oh yeah, I'm not done yet. I will be watching the Mets, but they don't start for a while. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So now we got the DVOA ratings down. Let's talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're gonna get to know them a little bit here. 5 things to know about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, I will be doing my full game preview. I will try to have that out Friday night, worst case Saturday morning, definitely by Saturday at the latest, but Friday night will be the goal. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the audio sounding still sounds good with the new microphone that we got here. Yeah, brand new, first time being used. So hopefully when I start yelling, the microphone actually picks it up because broke my heart when I watched the Mets celebration video last night when I did the Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration. That's saved up on clips from the end of last week, the very end of last week. If you haven't seen that, believe me, you will want to watch me pound 2 beers. But yeah, unfortunately, the issue was it didn't really pick up my yelling as well. So finally, I was like, it's time to get a new microphone. I can't just use the one inside the camera anymore. So hopefully this makes a difference. So there is a big quarterback controversy with the black and yellow. Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. Maybe it'll be Kyle Allen. We don't know. But Justin Fields last week against the Raiders. Now, he's played every snap so far this season. Last week, he completed 14 of 24 passes, 145 yards with 11 carries for 59 yards. But he is still very mistake prone. He had a bad interception that was only negated because of a roughing the passer penalty. And he had several throws that were just very off target that terminated a promising drive on offense. Now, this week, Russell Wilson, for the first time, is getting first-team reps in practice. He has been working his way back from a calf injury. Apparently, this calf injury, I don't know what happened. Did it detach from the bone? I know calves take a while, but 2 months? I don't know. And I'll tell you what, if you're a Jets fan, you might be rooting for Russell Wilson to play because at least you don't have to deal with Justin Fields' legs. And we know this, the Jets have a banged up secondary. Carter's not playing, Reed's not playing, Clark's not playing. So it's, you know what? I don't know if I buy it, because if Justin Fields is that inaccurate, you may not need the defense to be quite as good, the secondary to be quite as good. But I will say, Brandon Echols starting on the opposite side of Sauce. I got confidence in him. Again, I hope Jalen Mills plays over Ashton Davis, because, again, we do not need to see him again. Certainly not starting. Just for anybody who showed up late, let me see if I could. I gotta find it again. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. News. Here. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there it is. Yes, we do not need to see Ashton McRib Davis again. You see, great idea at the time. Looks good on paper. But when you get the full dose of him, you wonder why the hell he has ever stayed around as long as he has. The McRib, Ashton Davis. Anyway, a couple other things about Pittsburgh right here. Najee Harris. He scored a touchdown in the third quarter. Dano, yes, you're number 15. Yep, we'll spin the wheel in a little bit. His third quarter touchdown against the Raiders. That was the first rushing touchdown by a Steeler this year, not named Justin Fields. It took them till game 6 to score a rushing touchdown. You're going to be at the Steelers game? Oh, God. Get some Primanti Brothers, drink some Iron City Light, and call it a day. Oh, boy. All right, number 3, rookie center, Zach Frazier. Maybe the second most touted center in the draft behind JPJ, is out with an ankle injury. This will be, you talk about continuity. At least the Jets have had some continuity on the offensive line. This is the Steelers' 7th game, and it's going to be their 5th starting offensive line combination. This is like the Jets last season. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be Dan Moore, Isaac Siamalu. I think this kid, not McConkey, but something like that. What's his name? Who's the backup center? I'm going to get the name right. Ryan McCollum. Yeah. Then Mason McCormick at right guard. And, of course, Broderick Jones at right tackle. Broderick Jones. So who got cut from the roster when we got Adams? I don't think they've answered the question yet. Personally, I hope it's Brendan Bates. Because that's called, you know what that's called? Addition by freaking subtraction, guys. Number 4 thing to know about Pittsburgh, TJ Watt. Last week, 2 forced fumbles, 2 tackles for a loss for the season. 4.5 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, and 3 forced fumbles. As bad as the Jets' tackles were last week, they got to get this figured out. They have got to contain TJ Watt, because he will ruin our day. And number 5, only 2 teams in the NFL, San Francisco and Dallas, have kicked more field goals this year than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chris Boswell is 26 for 27 on total kicks. And here's the thing, he ain't making gimmies either. It's not just gimmies that he makes, like 30-yard kicks. From 50 yards and up, Boswell is 6 for 7. And he's 20 for 20, 49 and under. So if this becomes a field goal game, the Jets are in deep, deep trouble. Yep, Dana is confused. You know what? Yeah, Clark being on IR. Yep, they don't have to make a decision. Yeah, Clark's on IR. And keep in mind that also includes the bye week, because you don't miss 4 weeks. You miss 4 games. And I think the Jets' bye week, I'm pretty sure, falls in there, because I think the 4th game is Arizona. And before the Arizona game, the Jets have their bye. All right, so yes, so Clark on IR, Jets don't have to worry about making a move just yet. And again, these things usually have a way of working themselves out, as we all know. Okay, so I'll tell you what, guys. It is, just about 7 o'clock right now. We've been going for about an hour. No late breaking news. Yeah, not too surprised. All right, guys, it is time to do maybe one of the most popular things that we do, and that is that very special time every week. You know what happens during the course of the week. I go down into the basement, into the Jets labyrinth of knowledge. I bust open the books. I pull up the websites. I open up the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal fan base in all of the NFL. Just how much do you know about your New York Jets? So if you are ready, let's play Jet Strip. And guys, remember, so going into this week, I believe the record is you've gotten 4 correct and 2 wrong. So yeah, you guys are well above 500. So you've been out to win, and you've been doing that. And you know why you're doing that? It's because
you play to win the game.
Thank you, Herman.
You don't play to just play it.
No, you don't play, just play it. All right, so as you guys know, every week I give you a trivia question, and I try to make it as topical as I possibly can. So I will give you 5 minutes. I'm going to set the timer, and we are going to see what you could do, and put your answers there in the comments. Let's see how it goes. So tonight's question. The Jets, this is embarrassing, lost 14 of their first 15 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The one win in that stretch came in October of 1988. Name the starting quarterbacks for both teams. Matthew Smith is here. How you doing, man? Hope all is well in your kingdom. So the starting quarterbacks for both the Jets and the Steelers. And it is not Lee Cravat. David D goes with Cordell Stewart. Yeah. Is it Cordell Stewart? No. Cordell Stewart didn't even come to the NFL until like 1995, I think. All right. Doing just fine. Hopefully better in 4 hours when the Mets win. That's my hope. Dano goes Terry Bradshaw. Now Bradshaw was out. Yete goes with Neil O'Donnell, as does Dane O. Well, one for each. Hank G goes with Kenny O'Brien. Is Kenny O'Brien correct? Sure is. Kenny O'Brien was the Jets quarterback for this game in October of 1988. You know, it's funny. We think about how long it was for the Jets to beat Philadelphia, and it was, but they lost so many games to Pittsburgh. So many games. Man, you think in October of 1988 they were having that as big of a party then as we did last year? Yeah, Yeti, 88. Yep. Not 1888. All right. It'll be very interesting to see, though, who the Steelers do play at quarterback this week. Because I feel kind of mixed about it, who I would want to see. Because Russell Wilson's just, you think of him as the stable one, yet he's a total unknown. He really is. Okay, guys, 2 minutes down, 3 minutes to go. Hank G, as far as the Steelers, no idea. Duck Dodgers. No, it's not Duck Dodgers. 1988 was the only time I've ever been able to swim. Did you have your floaties on your arms, Dano? Is that what happened? What was happening? All right. Actually, one of the cool things, I'm gonna quickly. You are a sperm. Okay. I was going to show you real quick with the color. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if we can make this work. Here we go. Green, blue, light blue, yellow. Now I got the rainbow effect going on there. Pretty neat, right? Sort of a lime green. Yeah, now it's shuffled. Now back to sort of jet green. It actually is kind of a jet green. It may not come across green on camera, but yeah, it actually is a jet green there. All right, I gotta go Mets here. Here we go. Matthew Smith, Bubba Brister. I don't know who Bubba Brister is. No, was not. Yeah, it's not Bubba Brister. Sharon McClain. Oh, hey, Sharon, how are you? Brister. We have to go to the judges on this one. Can't quite go there. Can't quite accept it. Can't quite accept it. David D goes with Charlie Batch. No, it was not Charlie Batch. Brister was early 90s. Brister was a Steeler quarterback. I didn't say it was right. I didn't say it was wrong, but I can't accept Bubba Brister as an answer. Yeah, Bubba Brister. I cannot accept the answer. I'm sorry to say. Blister. Who is Bubby Brister? Yes, that's correct. Yes, it's correct. There we go. All right. So Bubby Brister and Ken O'Brien. I couldn't accept Bubba Brister. That might be his third cousin. I don't know. All right, chat. Once again, you guys got the question right, and I am making it way, way, way too easy on you. I got to go to like a backup punter next week or something like that. But great job again. So, guys, you know what that means. The chat wins again, so 5-2. Great job. That was a pretty tough one. All right. Hey, you know what? If only the Jets could beat 5-2. Shit. Oh, shout out to your boy who's a Steelers fan. Oh, did you go to the Glenn Cyclopedia like Jeremy used to do? The Glenn Cyclopedia, right? Okay. That's what's up. All right, guys, good job there. All right, so I'll tell you what, we haven't done it in a couple of weeks, and the way things are going right now with this team, I think we need something to kind of smile about a little bit, right? So I tell you what, we are going to spin the wheel. God, I love a good brisket. When a brisket is done right, brisket's one of the best things on earth. But I'll tell you what, being down here in North Carolina, they are very territorial with that barbecue. Like a barbecue can only be pulled pork to some of these people. That's it. Nothing else. It can be Eastern style or Western style, but it can't be like ribs can't be, brisket can't be, chicken can't be. That's a cookout. I don't know. And it's like it's so mortally offensive if you say anything other than pulled pork is barbecue. So, yes, Jaquan brisket. Yes. That was very well done, Matthew. See what I did there? All right, good. Okay. All right. So, guys, I am going to fire up the wheel. All right. So, let's see if I need to refresh my browser, which I sometimes have to do. Okay. I probably will. All right. And we'll do we're going to do the 100 Jets, 100 random Jets tonight. We'll do the full wheel, but sometimes this takes us a minute to do it. Let's see here. Present, share screen. There we go. All right, got it. Try tips available in Tucson, November 9th. Ooh, that's a nice California barbecue thing right there. Yeah. Try tip's pretty good. I haven't had like a true try tip. I think I've had try tip once. Yeah, it's quite good. I think try tip is kind of like London broil out east. I think it's the same kind of thing. Hey, Karen, what's going on? All right, guys, we've got the wheel pulled up, so I'll be watching the chat through my phone. All right, guys, I think everybody hopefully knows the rules, but for anybody who may be new, here's the deal. We got 100 random New York Jets on this wheel, randomly selected from the best of the best to the worst of the worst. We are going to spin this wheel 10 times, and we are going to land on a player. And then it is your job, it is the chat's job to say where on this list, from 1 to 10, are you ranking this player? From 1 being the best to 10 being the worst. And at the ends, when we have our 10 players, will we be in order from best to worst? If we do, we win the wheel. If not, no good. And it always seems to come down. There's 2 things I've noticed, really. Number 1, we always save number 1 for the end. And there's always one or two people who are a little bit extra hard on certain players who just want to say this guy's number 9 when everybody else goes number 5. It is pretty freaking hysterical. All right. And number 3, remember, before each spin, put in the chat who you think we're going to land on. And if we land on that player, you yourself get to choose where on the list that player is going to go, just to make it a little bit more fun. Okay? So I am ready. You haven't done this in a couple weeks. I am pretty freaking excited to do this. So guys, put down your predictions on where you think we're going to land, what player is going to come up. I think we're going to start well this week. I'm going to say Kevin Mawai is where we land. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. Guys, I'm going to change one thing here. I think there is one change I need to make. Okay, I hope people aren't offended by this, but I'm going to take out Chad Kaskadden. And the reason is I think there's somebody else we need to put on now. Abdul Salam, welcome for the first time to the 100 Random Jets Wheel. I think it's just the right thing to do. So, all right, I'm going to say we start well and we land on Nick Mangold. I'm going to go Mangold. I see Maynard. I see Darnold. I see Doug Bryant. Yeah, thanks, Matthew. You know, the idea just literally occurred to me when I saw, I think I saw Klecko's name, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta get Salam on here. I gotta get Salam on here. Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Okay, guys. All right, I think we're gonna spin that wheel, and hey, we got a lot of people in the chat, so hey, throw your guesses down there. Just look for a name and type it in. You know, that's all you got to do. Brandon Marshall, I see him as well. Okay, guys. We are going to spin. I'll give you about 10, 15 more seconds. Get them in. Sharon McLean says, Klecko. Sharon, have you been in the chat before? I don't think I've seen you. Derek Mason, the GOAT. Okay, here we go. We're going to spin for the first time tonight. In 3, 2, 1, spin. And it is coming to a stop on Johnny Mitchell. Okay, well, first round tight end pick. Was with the Jets for a couple of years, caught a few touchdowns, but just kind of became the longest, just one of many tight ends who didn't quite live up to expectations or to hope. So, guys, Johnny Mitchell, where are we going to put him on this wheel? One guess per turn, Matt. One guess per turn. So Johnny Mitchell, what are we thinking here? Okay, looks like we're leaning towards the back half here. Okay. And remember, guys, we got some all-time busts on here as well. We can't forget that. See, I think I go, I'm seeing some tough graders. I think I go around a 7 for him. It's just every time we do this, we wind up with we get players and we're like, we should have put him higher. I'm just going to look up Mitchell's stats real quick. Play with the Jets from 92 to 95. Whatever. Yeah, one season had 58 catches, 749 yards, and four touchdowns. 6 touchdowns in another year. I mean, he was not that bad. Did Mitchell ever break 500? 500 yards? Yeah. 93, 630 yards. 94, 749 yards. 95, 497. So, yeah, he never broke 1,000, but he broke 500 twice and came 3 away from hitting 500 a third time. So Mitchell is not that bad. I would go 7. Yet he's changed it from 8 to 7. Matthews being cute, being 1. Oh, 500 touchdowns. Shit, dude. For his career, I don't think he hit 100. Johnny Mitchell had 16 touchdowns. Johnny Mitchell had 159 catches, played 57 games. So, yeah. Not 500 touchdowns, dude. Come on. All right, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3 7s, 2 8s, and 9. I'm leaning 7 as well, guys. I'm going to put him at number 7, okay? So that's going to be the starting point. So Johnny Mitchell, number 7 on our list. Okay, I'm going to stay away from all the great Jets at this point because it never works out. Let's see, spin number 2. Everybody start putting your new guesses down there in the chat. I'm going to say, since we got the Steelers this week, I'm going to say we get Brad Smith because he had a very big kickoff return to open the game that one year in Pittsburgh. So give me Brad Smith for spin number 2. All right, I see Doug Bryan. I see Al Toon. Brian Winters, Vinny Testaverde. Yeah, we're going for a little bit of mediocrity here. For not the best place. Oh, Fitzy's here. Oh, Fitzy's going with Vinny Testaverde. Yeah, he's going to pick the Jets who played for New England at one time or another. I get it. All good. Oh, Yeti goes with Eric Smith. Ooh, one of my least favorites. Okay, here we go. Spin number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Harlan Abraham says Ty Law. Okay, gotcha. And we're coming to a stop on one of the better Jets, starting with the 1980s, Victor Green. So, hey, you know what, Fitzy? We picked a Jet who also finished his career with New England. How about that? But, yeah. So, Victor Green, he was with the Jets for about a decade, I believe, as a safety. Yeah, still pretty active on Twitter from what I see. Yeah, he's pretty he seems like a cool dude. He really, really does. And amazingly, Victor Green was not even drafted. He was an undrafted free agent, played college football at Akron. That's pretty amazing. But had 3 pick sixes in his career, 25 interceptions. And yeah, played in the NBA for a full decade. And hey, you know what? He retired with the Jets as well. Signed a 1-day contract to retire with the Jets. All right, I see a lot of 3s and 4s. 4s seem to have the edge. Sharon, a little bit tougher, going with a 5. Yeah, I got to go higher than a 5. Yeah, Victor Green is like the next level down from the Ring of Honor, is what I would say. He's the next guy down. I just don't know if we're going to get 4 guys who are better than him. I'm kind of leaning 3, but even if we did that, I think it would still make him a 4. All right, guys, go ahead and put your votes in. Let your voices be heard. Unlike in elections, everybody's vote actually counts. All right. Okay. It looks like the 4s are going to take this one. It's pretty close, but all right. We're going to go with a 4 for Victor Green. We're going to have to hit a couple home runs, though, I'll tell you. Tell you that much. I hope we do. Okay, we're going to go to spin number 3. I think it's time for us to get a little bit goofy here. I'm going to go Braden Mann. Let's get a punter on this list, right? I think it's time for a punter. All right, so I'm going Braden Mann. Guys, go ahead, put in the player that you think we're going to land on, that you want to claim. Dano, I think, is going to stay with Doug Bryan all night. Okay, got it. All right. Yeah, Dano has claimed Doug Bryan for the night. Sharon, I'm new. Be gentle. Of course. Absolutely. You're more than welcome to hang with us. Absolutely. Leahy, Tim Tebow, John Hall, Bilal Powell. Okay, we're going to do spin number 3. Yeah, and I went with Braden Mann. Okay. Spin number 3 in 3, 2, 1. And it's coming to a stop on Randy Rasmussen. Okay, now Randy Rasmussen he won a Super Bowl with the Jets. He played only for the Jets, and I believe he played with the Jets for 14 seasons. I'm pretty sure, as best I remember. Actually, he may have played one. He played one season, maybe with 1967 to 1981. He was a Jet. Played in 207 games, recovered 9 fumbles. Yep, and his final game. So he played in both the 68, 69 playoff games, and he played his last game was the 81 season, the playoff game against Buffalo when the Jets made that furious comeback, only to fall just short. So to me, Randy Rasmussen deserves to be pretty high up there. I would say, yeah. I'm see. It's a little bit mixed here. Okay, I see a 1, I see a 6, I see 2s, I see a 3, I see a 5. Okay, so pretty much everything is all over is a fair game here. So guys, your voices can make a difference here. I got to tell you though, myself, I'd put him above Victor Green. I'd have to do it. I wouldn't make him number 1, not yet. But for me, I got to go 2 or 3 with Randy Rasmussen. Dano's going with a 3. Okay. Sharon's going with a 3 as well. All right. Yep. Here for 14 years and brought a Super Bowl. He's number 1, Matthew said. Yeah, hey, it's a very fair argument to make. It is a very fair argument. Yeah. I guess when you're an offensive guard, though, you're not going to get quite the same attention. 2 lowest. He's either going to be, I really think he's either going to be 2 or 3. All right, let me see here. So 2 2s, 2 3s. Then there's a 1, a 5, and a 6. Older cats coming through. I really don't remember him. Yeah, Yeti, you know what? He retired the same year I was born. But looking at the numbers in the history, you know what? I gotta give a lot of respect to a guy like that. All right, guys, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make him number 3. That's pretty much the consensus of where the chat kind of averages out to. But you know what? We've only filled in spots 3, 4, and 7. We've got 7 spots to fill, and maybe we can get to Jets who are, also who are Ring of Honor level. We're gonna have to. Can we do it? All right, I'm gonna say for spin number 4. Because he's been in the news, and based off his Instagram account, I think I got to go with Jamal Adams. Dane, I know you're going with Doug Bryan. I'm going with Jamal Adams. Because why not? He's put up him in a Jet logo. Oh, my gosh. With him wearing a Jet uniform once Chuck Clark got hurt. You got to be kidding me with this guy. All right, Hank goes with John Abraham. Almost out of water. Man. All right, guys, put 3 your guesses down in there on who we're going to land with. We're going to land on. All right. We got 10 seconds. All right. Sharon wants Lance Smell. Matthew Smith wants Kyle Brady. We know Dane's got Doug Bryan. All right. And I'm taking Jamal Adams. Okay. Let's spin that wheel, and we're going to do it in 3, 2, 1. This is spin number 4. We filled spots 3, 4, and 7. Plenty are left. And we landed on Keyshawn Johnson. Yeah, since the merger, the only number 1 overall pick the Jets have ever had. Definitely came here, made a difference. Fantastic receiver, but was not here all that long before he got traded. But you know what? Hey, the Jets did get Chad Pennington back in that trade. So not as bad as it could have been. But yeah, it was only with the Jets from 1996 to 99. That was it. Then it was 4 years in Tampa Bay, 2 in Dallas, 1 in Carolina. Yeah, actually, you know what? Actually, the 2 picks, I think it was John Abraham and Anthony Beck. Yeah, I'd still say the trade was, you can't hate the trade, especially since Lavernius Coles worked out as well as he did. But with the Jets, 98 had 10 touchdowns in that 1 year. Wow. His 4 seasons with the Jets, his yardage, 844, 963, 1131, and 1170. And only in 1 season did he do better than 1170 ever again. All right, guys. Keyshawn's a tricky one. Where are we going to put him? Tony goes with 2. Dane goes with 5. Another 2. Another 5. Dano, not long enough, so 5. That's what she said. All right. Sharon, we can't go 4 because Victor Green is 4. So we could use every number only once. So the numbers we have are 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Now, I know we're not going to put him at 8, 9, or 10, and I don't think we could put him at 1. I don't think we could quite go there, right? Matthew, yeah, 5 is average, but again, every list is different. If you get like 9 stiffs and then you get, Brian Thomas, well, he'll be number 1 on the list. That's a win, right? So it's all about where they fit relative to the other players. So with Keyshawn Johnson, would you put him above Randy Rasmussen and Victor Green? I don't know if I could do that. For me, Keyshawn was only here 4 years, whereas Rasmussen was here 14, Victor Green was here for 10, and they were both really, really good players. Keyshawn was really, really good. But again, 4 years. Gotcha, Matthew. Gotcha. I know. I had to. At this point, I think we're leaning towards 5. The chat's kind of going 5. All right. Don't let this get to Keyshawn. He'll get offended by that. That's okay. All right. So that is 4 spins down, 6 to go. Quick recap. Number 3, Randy Rasmussen. Number 4, Victor Green. Number 5, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 7, Johnny Mitchell. So those 4 spots are taken. So here's what we need. We got the middle of this pretty much filled up. We need Hall of Famers and Hall of Crap. That is what we are looking for with these next couple of spins. All right, so I'm going to say we get a little Hall of Crap here. Kyle Wilson. Maybe my least favorite defensive Jet player of all time. Maybe. All right, Matthew goes to Brickashaw Ferguson. Okay. All right, guys, let's see your guesses. Guys and ghouls. Harlan takes Mangold this time. All right. Hank G goes D. Milliner. All right. There we go. All right. We're going to go to spin number 5, and let's spin that wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on Brett Favre. Brett Favre is Brett Favre. Brett Favre. Well, I'll tell you what. It was 1 year with Brett Favre. It got off to an amazing start until he got hurt. And what became most important was his stupid Iron Man streak. And the last couple games, he couldn't have been much worse. Yeti, is Tim Tebow on the wheel? Yes, Tim Tebow is on the wheel. If you're looking at the wheel right now, look just left of 6 o'clock on the wheel. You'll see Tebow in between Browning Nagel and Marty Lyons. Quite a combination, isn't it? All right, so we've got 1, 2, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, I can't put Favre in the top 2. One here long enough, never got to the playoffs. I can't put him at 9 or 10. Would I put him below Johnny Mitchell? He had some games Favre did where he looked absolutely unbelievable. I think he threw for 6 touchdowns in one game. And that team he had around him was pretty dang good. I just never thought the coach was all that great. I think 6 is about right for Favre. I really do, because we're not looking at the whole career. We're looking at the Jets' career. And again, it was 1 year, and he didn't want to be here. Let's be honest. He didn't want to be here. So I see a couple of 8s. I see a 5, a 6. I'm kind of leaning 6 myself. You have 15 seconds to get your votes in. Finish off the water. It is weird for Favre. I know, Yeti, right? So, okay. I think we're going 6. Yep. Looks like that's about the right spot for him. So we have filled through the first 5 picks, spots 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Randy Rasmussen, Victor Green, Keyshawn Johnson, Brett Favre, and Johnny Mitchell. I think we're doing well so far. but it's a situation where we have to really hit one extreme or another. And I'm going to stay on the negative side here. I'm going to say Blair Thomas. We need like a good draft bust on this wheel. No 100 random Jets wheel is complete without a total bust. Whether it's Hackenberg, Wilson, Thomas, Stephen Hill, Zach Wilson, whoever it may be. All right, so Dane's got, we know who Dane has. Matthew Smith, Le'Veon Bell, Harlan Abraham goes old school with George Sauer. I like that. Tony goes with Zach Wilson. All right, got it. Zach Wilson, we would be 4-2 with him. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. You must be one of the Zach Wilson truthers that Jake always talks about. I think you're kidding, though. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Spin number 6 in 3, 2, 1. There we go. And it comes to a stop. Oh, boy. Mark Sanchez. Wow. That is not who we needed to land on. Not at all who we needed to land on. And Matthew was one space away from getting Le'Veon Bell. I wish we had him. Man. You got banned a while back because you mentioned about Zach being great. Yeah. Well, you knew he was going to do that. You know how he does things. Hank G wants to put him at 5. Hank, we can't. Spots 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are taken. The only spots we can put Mark Sanchez are 1, 2, 8, 9, and 10. So here's the bottom. So again, I'll go through it again for you. Number 3, Randy Rasmussen. Number 4, Victor Green. Number 5, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 6, Brett Favre. Number 7, Johnny Mitchell. Guys, where are we putting Sanchez? I know he got to 2 AFC championship games, but in the later years, he was so turnover prone. I don't even care about the butt fumble. I don't. He had, 5 turnovers against Tennessee on one Monday night game? Oh, boy. It's like you had amazing highs and pathetic lows. You know, he led him on some big drives too. No doubt about it. But can I put him above Randy Rasmussen and Victor Green and Keyshawn Johnson? I don't know. I don't know if I can. And is he worse than Brett Favre and Johnny Mitchell? This is rough. This is a rough call. Wow. All right. Guys are going with the 8s pretty hard. Okay. Yeti, a certified 5. Wow. Okay. I didn't think the 8s would be quite that hard, but it looks like that's where we're going. All right. Mark Sanchez, number 8 on the list. I think for where we are with the wheel here, I could buy it, but the other 4 we got to hit on. Okay. If this is the biggest thing we have, Sanchez at 8, I could deal with it. The rest of this has to hit. Okay. We're going to go to spin number 7. You know, we seem to be landing right in that area. I'm going to say we land on Sean Ellis next. Think of it. We've landed on Le'Veon, on Mark Sanchez and Randy Rasmussen. So I'm going to say we go right next to him. I say we land on Sean Ellis. Why not? Yeah, and again, the butt fumble is the most overhyped play in sports. We were going to get killed that night anyway. Just had maybe a national TV audience Thanksgiving night. What do you want? Alexio wants Tebow, but he called it. Yeti, you're going to have to change because Alexio called Tim Tebow. Harlan Abraham wants Anthony Beck. Yeti, I'll give you a little time to change. All right, Matthew, Hank, Sharon. I know you're all hanging around. Dane, I know you're hanging around too. Who's it going to be? Sharon goes with Pat Leahy. You know what's funny? We have landed on Pat Leahy a number of times, and pretty much every time he winds up, it's the end of the wheel, and he's always in spot number 1 or spot 2, and I feel dirty over it. You want Le'Veon Bell again? Okay. Tebow, Matthew, I'll tell you what. If we had Tommy Bohannon on the wheel, that would be the Tebow I would give you, but he is not on the wheel. Okay, spin number 7 in 3, 2, 1. Oh, looks like it's so. Oh, you know what? Vlad Dukas, Big Ugly himself, who somehow managed to turn out a little bit of an NFL career after leaving the Jets. But this is the kind of player we needed. Somebody either right at the top or right at the bottom. So I'm going to make it simple, guys. Vlad, a 9 or a 10? Oh, God. Is Vlad Dukas a 9 or a 10? Oh, boy. For Big Ugly. Yeah. 10, 10, 10. Man, if you're an old NXT fan, it's like a Ty Dillinger. Then 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay, Matthew Smith with a 20. Okay, I'm with that. I'm with it. All right, Vlad Dukas, number 10 on our list. The perfect 10. That's right. Okay, so I'll give you a quick recap. We got 3 spins left for the night. Number 10, Vlad Dukas. Number 9 is blank. 8, Mark Sanchez. 7, Johnny Mitchell. 6, Brett Favre. 5, Keyshawn Johnson. 4, Victor Green. 3, Randy Rasmussen. Number 2 and number 1 are yet to be occupied. Who's going to take these spots? It's one of those where you really want to get a good one, because going into these last 2 spins, we don't want to have to get 2 Jets that are better than Randy Rasmussen, because I can tell you, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. I will say, though, I'm gonna try to manifest something good here if that works. I'm gonna go on this spin. I'm gonna go Wesley Walker. All right, I see some of the chats trying to do the same thing. I see Namath. I see Klecko. All right. Hank G goes with Sione Puha. Puha. Let's see a little news. Cooper Kupp trending to play against the Raiders on Sunday. And if you're a hockey fan, Sidney Crosby just recorded his 1,600th point, 10th player in career history to get that. Anyway, Klecko Dano goes with Kotchery. Okay. Yeah, Kotchery, it'd be tough to put him over Rasmussen, but I guess we probably have to. All right. Okay, guys, we got the votes in there. Oh, just had a few more people drop in. Appreciate that for sure. Oh, looks like Samini just released an article on Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and the little reunion. So that might be something to read after the show's over here. Yeti goes with Adam Corbett. Yeti, I'm not familiar with who Adam Corbett is. Sharon says Eddie B3. Who? Eddie B3? Okay. Message retracted. Sorry about that one. Yeah, Sharon, who are you referring to? Eddie Bell. Okay, spin number 8. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on. All right, Foley Fatakasi. All right, I can live with that. Yeah, thank you for the message, Dano. Hit subscribe. Need only 34 more subs for 1,000 and add revenue. Yep, getting close. Thanks. Yeah, I think Foley's got to be number 9. Not that he was a bad Jet, but considering everybody else on this list, I don't think there's any doubt that he's going to take spot number 9 on this list. Yeah, no, pretty much no doubt on that one. All right, let's see if I can. Okay, there we go. All right, pulling this back up. There we go. All right. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. Usually at the end of the night, we have spun 9 times, and all that's left is to get spot number 1 filled. So often it doesn't work out as well as we would like. Well, tonight, the challenge has been elevated to a whole new level. We not only have to fill in the number 1 spot with our final spin, we have to fill in the top 2 spots with our final 2 spins. And we have to find 2 Jets who are at least equal to or better than Randy Rasmussen and Victor Green. Can it be done? It can be done. Will it happen? I hope so, man. All right. I am going to pick, I think we're going to land on Mickey Schuler. Not that he was the best Jet, but he's the best tight end that they ever had, and that alone could justify him being in the top 2. I'm going to go Mickey Schuler. All right, guys, let's see your predictions. We'll do spin 9, spin 10, and then we're going to call it a night because I got to get ready to watch the Mets game. But yeah, definitely thanks for hanging with me. We've been on for an hour, 40 minutes going solo. Yeah, it's been a fun show. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who's taking the time on their Wednesday night to hang out with me. Leon Washington, Darrell Rivas, Bruce Harper. Yeah, Sharon must go back a couple years. Matthew, I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. All right, spin number 9. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on. Oh, it's Tim Tebow. Oh, no. All night long we've been guessing Tebow, and now we land on him when we have to fill in the top 2. Oh, if we're going by human beings, there is nobody better on this wheel than Tim Tebow. Him, Curtis Martin, and Marty Lyons. Those are probably the top 3. And Chad Pennington, of course. Top 4, the 4 horsemen. But, oh, my gosh. Number 2 on the list. Matthew and Tony want to put him at 1. What a disaster. We traded a 3rd-round pick for him. What was Tannenbaum and Woody thinking? Because I know Rex didn't want that. Oh, man. All right, Tim Tebow, number 1. What the hell? I'm just going to do spin number 2. Let's just spin it. Let's just see how it finishes up. I can't do a mulligan tonight. I can't do no mulligans. And it lands on Jeff Cumberland. Yeah, Jeff Cumberland. Mm-hmm. After what I said about him earlier, I guess I had that coming. So let's recap this, why don't we? Let's recap this just train wreck. Number 10, Vlad Dukas. Number 9, Foley Fatukasi. Number 8, Mark Sanchez. Number 7, Johnny Mitchell. Number 6, Brett Favre. Number 5, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 4, Victor Green. Number 3, Randy Rasmussen. Not bad up to that point. Number 2, Jeff freaking Cumberland, who I put around number 10 on this list. And number 1, Tim Tebow. Guys, you know what that means for tonight. We lost, and we lost hard, just like the LA Dodgers are about to do to the New York Mets. Oh, man, that was stinky. Goodness gracious. Dane, I know. As good as we are at trivia, we suck at the wheel. Yeah, Yeti, this is the best wheel by far. Okay. I have kept wheels. Okay, I know it's not here with the background, but I mean, we've had wheels recently where number 1s were Derek Mason. Derek Mason was the number 1 on the wheel. Oh boy, Ken O'Brien was a number 1. I mean, we've had some more. And remember, we did the quarterback wheel, and Quincy Carter landed number 1 on the top 5 quarterback wheel. Good Lord. Brutal. Hank. Hank. That's pretty much my reaction on the wheel. Yeah, just like that. All right, guys. This has been a fun night. It's been a good time. And yeah, I feel like we're rolling. Yeah, we got the new sound, which I think worked out really, really well. And yeah, had a great turnout in the chat tonight. I appreciate it. Again, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with a friend. Please help me get the word out. So close to 1,000. I want to hit it by the end of the year. That is the goal that I have in mind. I want to hit it by New Year's Eve. So I can put out all the videos, but telling somebody about it, that's the best thing that you can possibly do to help me out. So thanks. Great show. I appreciate it. I do my best. Let's beat Pittsburgh. I don't know if they're going to. They can. They can. It won't be easy, but if they're going to have any kind of a season left, they got to go out and freaking win this game. You can come back from 2-4. Even you can come back from 3-4, but come back from 2-5, where you pretty much have to go 8-2 to even have a chance at a wild card spot. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Not unless Adams is completely ready to go and Reddick signs. Then outside of that, I don't, it's not realistic. It's just not. Oh, hey, NCV, man. Late to the show, watch replay. Are you going to the State Fair? Yeah, the State Fair, I live, by the way, for those who don't know, I'm about 3-4 minutes away from the fairgrounds. Yeah, the State Fair opens tomorrow. You know what, guys? Hang with me for one more minute. One more minute. One or two of the – now, I don't know if I could share the I'll see if I could share this with you guys. But the NC State Fair starts tomorrow, and I found out about some of the food that is coming up and some of this disaster. Some of the most horrifying stuff I have ever seen. I just hope I could find the right article. What's new in 2024? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you know what, guys? Hang with me for just a moment. I found the website. I am going to share this. Let's go through what's being served at the North Carolina State Fair. Just for a minute, just for a little bit of fun. Let me see if I could share this. I'm gonna get it. I'll get it going. Come on. Okay. You like one more chance. If it doesn't work, then we'll call it. But see if I can do it. If not, I'll at least tell you what's going on. All right, I'm just going to tell you real quick what's just one or two of the items that are on the list. Let's see. Where was the one that there was one that I saw that was just horrifying. They have, this is good. Deep fried cannolis. Hand-filled cannoli on a stick, deep fried, topped with powdered sugar. That sounds pretty good. The one that candied oatmeal cream pies. That sounds pretty good. Honey butter matzo dog. Mozzarella cheese rolled in homemade batter with panko breadcrumbs, then deep fried, drizzled with honey butter sauce. So fried mozzarella with honey butter sauce. Weird. A turducken burger. That actually sounds quite good. The old John Madden tradition. So turkey, duck, and chicken on a bun, served with like cheese, jalapenos, onions, pickles, that kind of thing. Sausage and peppers egg roll. That looks really good. And where was the other one? Ooh, Mexican street corn nachos. Tortilla chips topped with nacho cheese, corn, a drizzle of mayo, Parmesan, and Tajín. For an extra kick, add Takis or Red Hot Cheetos. They actually look really good. All right, here's the one that's horrifying me. Loaded bologna fries. Battered bologna fries loaded up with chili cheese sauce. So they're taking French fries, topping them with bologna, and then adding cheese sauce and chili. Oh, good Lord, have mercy. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Good night, everybody.